Hello, friends, and welcome to the Cinemondo podcast with Kathy and Burk, talking about a movie trailer called Charlie.
Charlie.
Right?
I know it's not 77 or 777 Charlie. It's just Charlie. I couldn't get through Charlie. It was way too sad for me. But this is a different Charlie. This is different. This is a 2015 Malayalam film, and it stars Mammootty's son, Dulquer Salmaan. So that's kind of cool. I've seen him in a few things. I saw him in OK Kanmani and Chup. And then we did actually a trailer reaction to Solo that he also stars in. So he's an up and coming, probably not even up and coming. He's a star.
Yeah.
His dad is not hurt.
Somewhat a while back, as they say.
2015.
Yeah.
Way back in 2015.
Olden days.
Exactly. So this is going to be an interesting movie, I think, because it's kind of a contemporary film. It's got, kind of, I don't know. I don't know much what it's about. I know it's about a graphic artist, which I thought was hilarious that they call him a graphic artist. But I think it's because he does a graphic novel. So it's not like someone who designs logos or something. But in the meantime, we have movies, which are my life. I love movies. I'm a huge fan. It's all about movies and trailers and teasers and
there's a whole lot of graphic art that goes on in the making of a film. I was a graphic artist in films and television when I was I was in the prop department, art department for many, many, many years. And one of the things that I was kind of known for, my reputation was that I was a designer. I was a graphic artist. I could do, like, if they ever needed a fake book cover or a fake thing, like a advertisement or a magazine cover or some kind of Photoshop-y kind of weirdness or any kind of design, logo, company, corporate identity, whatever, I could do that kind of stuff and make it look really real because I've done it in the real world. I can do it. And, like that show Mad Men, if you guys have ever seen Mad Men, I did in the very early on, I did some of the designy stuff in that show, trying to sort of replicate the old style of graphic artists. And it
sounds like an interesting plot point. I have no idea what I think it's more of a comedy-ish, but we'll have to tell. Will the trailer fill us in on some clues on what this movie is? I don't know.
Shall we watch that trailer?
Let's watch this trailer.
And
no subtitles.
എന്റെ സിസ്റ്റർ ഇതൊന്നും നമ്മുടെ പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്ന ടീമല്ല. കാത്തിരിപ്പിന്റെ ഒരു പേര് അതൊരു റൂം നമ്പർ 66.
That played like a French movie to me.
Well, the music, it sounded like Amelie or something with the.
It totally did. That was beautiful. I loved a lot of that visual. Yeah, the accordion was it. Yeah,
right. And those pizzicato strings. Dun, 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 dun,
I kind of got the feeling like maybe some of that was the imagination of what they were seeing in the graphic novel, like how it looked, because it seemed like there was a lot of fantasy looking elements, like the chairs
Yeah,
going up in the
masks
sky and running next to the horse.
yeah.
So there's all these beautiful images that I wonder if are part of the graphic novel, that they're kind of
Yeah.
pursuing that adventure or something. But yeah, it was a little obscure, but it looked very fun and it was gorgeous. I mean, so many great colors in it. Like, it
Yeah.
just looked like a beautiful, like, sort of moment, like to just get away and just enjoy life. Watch this movie.
If I was gonna guess, maybe if it is a graphic novel kind of a story, maybe there's somebody like a relationship that somebody who does graphic novels and he's being absorbed into his stories, kind of like falling into the psychosis of thinking that his stories are reality or something like that. I don't know, maybe. Because it did seem like you said there's like some fantasy sequences in there and some scary moments where because that would be an interesting story if you feel like with projects that you work on sometimes, if you are a graphic artist or a creative person, a creative type musician or a visual artist or a writer, a lot of times you hear these stories about how they get absorbed into their work. They get so wrapped up in it, they kind of lose track of where reality starts and finishes and where their created reality begins. And that's always an interesting thing to explore in stories.
So because I'm dying to know what this is about, I had to look it up a little bit.
Oh, you cheated.
I had to, because I'm dying to know. But basically, she runs away because she doesn't want to marry someone. She rents a small room in a kind of dilapidated house. So she's cleaning up and she hates the place at first, but she finds out it was previously occupied by this carefree vagabond, which is clearly Charlie, who's the alcoholic.
Carefree vagabond. That's what I've always wanted to be referred to as.
I know. I would love to be a vagabond.
Yeah, a carefree one, a carefree vagabond.
Vagabonds is sort of carefree just in the name alone. So she finds a graphic novel that's almost like a diary, depicts some events from the previous New Year, and where a small-time thief tries to break into the room. So she kind of starts retracing the steps that are happening in the graphic novel that were kind of biographical of what is happening to him. So that makes it even more interesting, I think. Kind of
I
meta.
Wish could have seen some of the drawings in there. I'd love to.
I know they didn't really show any of the drawings.
Yeah,
that was interesting. I had some posters that maybe we'll see some kind of carefree vagabond.
Carefree vagabonds. Look at them.
Look at that. That's carefree. I love the title treatment, though. I gotta say that.
With the flowers, and it just looks so
beautiful. The fantasy is
so carefree.
You got the white horse. You have the motorcycle. You have the birds. I didn't know what was happening to the chickens. I did not like that. But but this is kind of a beautiful little poster. And we have another very similar one. Just have like a lot of the birds, and it looks very fancy. He looks very carefree with his colorful clothing and his smile. It just looks very cute. So that
looks like a fun, like three fun people relationship.
3 fun people.
Yeah. 3 carefree vagabonds.
There is like zero chance Burk is watching this film.
Yeah, and they free the birds from the aviary. They go to the zoo and free all the birds, the parrots.
Birds should be free. They should be out there. We have a lot of free parrots in LA. A lot of people that lost their pets and that they have proliferated because of the climate, and the food is perfect for them. So they come
Pasadena parrots.
I see them all the time. They fly over my house.
They fly over our house like 5 times a day.
Yeah. Sometimes they stop and you can see them in the trees and they're all just chattering. So I think this looks really fun and entertaining. I like Dulquer Salmaan, and I think it could be fun to watch that. And I think it has a little bit of an edge, the idea that, something happened to him, we don't know what, and that there's that teeny bit of in there. And it looks kind of like an interesting little anomaly.
And the idea of an artist who leaves behind his work, like somebody, it sounds like his life, like he put his heart and soul into this thing. Yeah. And why did he leave it behind in his old place? And that's kind of sad. Maybe,
I know.
Yeah. And maybe, maybe he just lost faith in his art, or lost faith in the idea of doing a graphic novel and said, to hell with all this. I'm not an artist anymore. And
artists always have to battle that. It's a constant battle of insecurity and imposter syndrome, and am I good, am I not good? It's just a constant battle. Especially creative people are so sensitive, and it's so personal. Art is so personal that you can't even really get any kind of I think you can't even almost get help, no matter how many accolades you get, no matter how good people tell you are. You never believe it. It's just part of what we do. So I could see him totally going, I can't take it, and leaving, because I mean, an artist would do that.
And
It's just what
especially
they
with
do.
something where you're pouring your heart into it, like a graphic
Yeah.
novel. The implication is that it's a diary type of thing where he drew, his
Right.
life and you do. There's some aspects of art that I think a lot of creative people, artists. I'm speaking just for myself and my friends who are artists, who they are kind of afraid to reveal too much in their art.
Yeah.
You hold back a little bit. You don't put
Yeah.
the real stuff in there. And I think sometimes
Risky.
people who have
Yeah.
slightly little bit unhinged a little bit, I'll use that word, tend to be the best
Yeah.
artists because they don't
Yeah.
have that fear, and
There's
sometimes
something
they
about
just
filter. Yeah.
they put it out there and they're
Mhm.
fearless and they just let it go. And
That's right.
those are people that are either and then when people see that art, they're either drawn to it and they're like, my God, this is so honest, this is so
Yeah.
real, or they're
Yeah.
like, ooh, TMI, I can't look at that, that's disturbing, I don't want to go there.
That's right.
But the idea of a graphic novel is somebody who's writing a graphic novel or like a
Yeah.
visual cartoon
Yeah.
drawing version of their own reality. That's
That'd be
really like
fascinating.
putting your life down on paper in a way that's very
Yeah.
revealing.
It's a pretty cool
So
idea. Like, it'd be kind of
yeah,
interesting to be I mean, it sounds like because he's a carefree vagabond, he has an interesting life. In general, he's probably going from place to place and just so he has that constant, change in environment, new people he's meeting. Whereas if I did a graphic novel, it'd be the most boring thing in the world. Get
well,
up, start work, go to bed, get up, do work,
I'll give
go
you
to
an
bed. Like, that'd be
example.
my graphic novel.
One of my favorite songwriters, just a fantastic songwriter and performer. I've seen her play a bunch of times. Amy Mann, Amy Mann.
Mhm. Mhm.
She actually, if you go and follow her on Instagram, she does these
Oh, okay.
cartoons. They're like,
Wow.
it's like a graphic novel, but she'll do like she does it in the format of Instagram, the way Instagram used to be square, and she'll do it maybe in four panels, and it'll
Yeah.
be just a slice of life, but it's a slice of her life, so it's kind of cool because she's a
That is cool.
musician, a professional
Yeah.
musician, and she knows all these cool people, and they play music and they do shows. And she makes these really good observations. I mean, obviously through the lyrics in her song, she's very skilled at making observations and
Right.
having lyrical ways of approaching things.
Mhm.
And her graphic novel stuff or her cartoon stuff is really good. And I really am waiting for her to put out a book of them because she's done them.
That'd be very cool.
You're giving her a plug here on our little podcast.
Might as well.
Check
I
out
like her. She's cool.
it's always been a
artist.
favorite.
All right. So
But
let us
that's
know
an
what you think,
example of
Charlie.
that.
That's perfect. And if you know of any artists, put out a shout out for them in our comments. We'd
Or
love to
if you
see your
yourself are
art.
an artist,
Yes.
let
Or
us know.
self-promote your art. Let us know
Point
what you
us.
do.
Yeah, point us towards
Come
your
on,
graphic
artists.
novel.
Down
Yeah.
there. Start promoting yourself down there. We will let you post those links. All
We
right.
like that kind of thing.
We love it. Artist support. Yup.
Yes.
All right.
Great.
Talk to you
Yeah.
later.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.